Can you like just put my hand out and it just like sits right here?
Yeah,
Keep your hand out for a sec.
Okay.
They're pretty much here. You could talk like whatever you want. They're only gonna put the cool stuff on. So
No worries.
anything that's incriminating or anything like that.
I've been on television long enough.
Okay, good. That's right, yeah. Dancing with the Stars, man. That's pretty crazy. We're here with Mr. Milonas. Today we're going to be talking about real estate and some tips that you need to know in order to purchase real estate in today's markets. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of What They Did Not Teach You in School, where we teach you stuff that they didn't teach you in school. Today we got James Milonas, who is a realtor in the
Toronto market.
Yep. You've been doing this for how many years now?
5 years.
Five long years. And he saw the actual boom of the realtor market 5 years ago. Things were pretty hot. Not everybody was a realtor, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of millennials now getting into the real estate market because they think it's easy money.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you've got, at least 6 figures in the bank to support you, you're going to die your first year.
Yeah, it's actually, that's very true. Because how long did it take, just out of curiosity, how long did it take you to close your first deal?
Oh my God, I'll be honest, my first deal was in my first year. It was a lease for $1,700.
Okay.
So I made half of $1,700 my first year.
All right, that's it.
And I spent $38,000 to get my business started. And I made like $680.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I ran to the bank with my check. I was so proud.
Was your second year better?
Oh, my second year, I
Did
killed
well?
it. Third year. Now this is the year where I'm seeing the most of my business. In the last, it's been 9 weeks since the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I've done more business than I have in the last 5 years combined.
What do you think's made the difference for you?
I think it's just knowing more people and just getting myself out there further. I've changed my business strategy altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone from that standard resale into more pre-construction where I can kill 20, 30 units in one project.
Pre-construction, what pre-construction projects are hot right now that you're working with?
Oh, so I'm selective with who I work with builder-wise. I mean, you can walk into any Pemberton showroom and feel their kitchens, feel their floors, and you know it's quality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love to work with Italian builders just because the whole construction side of things happens to,
Sure.
play into effect. So right now I'm selling Era 2 in Richmond Hill, which is Yonge and Highway 7.
Yonge and Highway 7, okay.
Yeah, it's just right behind the Il Fornello, just north of Highway 7.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah.
When's that supposed to be built?
So Era 1 is already sold out. Era 2, we've got remaining units left. We can still get a 1 in Den for $450 up to $490.
Oh, that's pretty good in Richmond Hill.
Yeah, I mean, because resale, you're paying way over that for a smaller space.
When's it supposed to be built?
Be built, done,
Yeah.
and moved in 2021, but budget early 2022.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Right, and then our newest project, which I've got a ton of clients ready to go, is up in Stouffville, right on 9th Line.
Is this a condo
It's
or
a condo?
Oh.
It's townhomes in the bottom, condos in the middle, and then 2-story luxury penthouses on top.
In Stouffville.
In Stouffville, right on 9th Line, just south of Maine. $625 a square foot, which I mean is breaking the Stouffville market to begin with. But where else can you get a condo for $625 a foot? Like it doesn't exist. You're paying.
What's it in Toronto? $1,150?
Yeah, $1,150 pre-construction, $1,300 resale.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Prices of condos. We've been talking about this a lot over the last 6 months. The changes in mortgage rules that happened on the 1st of January, and we're going to go through it again because you'd be surprised the amount of times we talk about things and still people don't remember it. Right. So repetition is key. In your perspective and your explanation, what happened January 1st with the mortgage rules changing?
In my market and my clients, absolutely nothing.
You want to explain it to the people that don't know what happened then anyway?
I'm not going to give too much about it because I'm not a mortgage broker, so I don't have to be quoted on anything like that.
No problem.
But it's just, the whole buying power was changed. So you were actually able to afford 20% less with the new mortgage rules and that stress test. So if you made a 6-figure, $100,000 income, December 31st, you would qualify for $700,000. January 1st, that same income would qualify you for $500,000.
That's pretty good explanation if you ask me.
Yeah. But it killed a lot of people and brought them out of the marketplace. But my clients, our age group, the millennials who grew up in Richmond Hill and Vaughan, we're semi-lucky that we didn't borrow from the bank of mom and dad. Well, if you think about it, I know the house I grew up in, and I know the house you grew up in. They were that decent-sized McMansion in the suburbs. By the time we're ready to buy, our parents' homes are mortgage-free. So they can take a small mortgage out against their own home to help supplement what you're missing for your own.
And are you seeing that's happening a lot? Pretty much. How can a 25 to 30-year-old afford something without that, unless they're like a one-off anomaly?
Yeah, I mean, you get the standard buyers who are buying that one-bedroom condo, and you're on the subway line and they can get under $500,000. But the ones that want their first home, that first piece of land, they're borrowing from mom and dad.
So true, and it's something that Sal and I talk about like all the time, because the average 25-year-old, they make like $55,000 to $70,000 if they're lucky, and the price of houses, the average price of a condo in Toronto is like $700,000, and the average price of a house in Toronto is like 1.2-1.3 million.
Right.
That's 10 years, 20 years that they need to save their money in order to afford one of these places. And they haven't been working even for that long.
Yeah.
So how is it possible for these people in order to purchase a house?
Yeah, they just got to get it now. I mean, starting off with that first condo, I was 18 when I bought my first place.
Did you buy it pre-construction?
Yeah, it was one of the last units left from the builder. So the building was built, and I bought it on a whim. I saved everything that I made when I started working at 16. The day I turned 18, walked in with my mom, handed in my check, and 18 months later I sold it for a profit.
True.
And then the ball has just kept rolling.
Did you, what did you do at 16? What was your job?
Honestly, I worked at Walmart.
Oh, okay.
I worked at Walmart stocking shelves, with the goal just to move up into fashion. I never wanted to go into real estate. So I was working in fashion in my late teen years, and then, parents divorced, trust fund's gone. So it's like, I gotta do something. So got my real estate degree and haven't looked back.
True.
Yeah.
All right. We did mention that you work with celebrities.
That's true. Yeah.
Seriously, celebrities? Like, how did that go about?
So from working in fashion, I had a really great client book. Okay. And when I built my brand, James in the City, a very famous actress who played on Sex and the City.
Hashtag James in the City, follow James in the City, like and comment on his last post, all that jazz.
Thank you. Little plug. So a really famous actress who played on Sex and the City, she was one of my clients and I worked in fashion. So when I built my brand and I posted my logo, her PR team was following me.
Okay.
They saw it, they called me, so-and-so wants to purchase in Toronto, can you give her a hand?
That's amazing.
Not a problem. So, working with her was great. I've worked with other A-listers, fashion designers, rappers, media moguls, PR agents.
That's very interesting. What these people are looking usually in Toronto?
They're looking in Toronto. A lot of them are looking either to invest as just to have that M postal code, but a lot of people are looking for short-term leases.
Because they have to come here for a project or work for a short period of time. Something else that we've been talking about pretty often as well is that maybe, and some people have been saying this and I've heard it, that condos are more affordable, or actually less affordable right now than houses per se because of the affordability of them. Is that something that you've been seeing? Condos are more hot now than housing?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to go with the last condo that I sold. It was at the Don Valley in Eglinton, right at 181 Winford. It's the big blue building. You can't miss it.
Yeah, I know.
It's hot because if you look at who's buying in there, they're all of Middle Eastern descent because the Aga Khan Museum is around the corner.
True.
So they want to be close to that cultural center. Right? You continue down Don Mills and you're getting into a lot of their restaurants and their cultural communities. So they want to be able to walk to all of that. But at the same time, you go 10 minutes east, you can get a house in mid-Scarborough for $750, and I sold this condo for $500. So you get a full house with land for a little bit more, $250,000 more, but people want to be in that condo for location. I can't even keep the condos on long enough to upload my pictures before they're gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Even now, like in the first two months that we've been seeing in...
Every condo I've listed, it's been on the market day zero, and I've had showings. Because usually my photographer, she's done editing by early morning. Photos are on, I've already have offers.
Really?
Without people even seeing the unit. They just want to get in.
Which is a curious question, because a lot of realtors do different things in order to market their listings. What do you do?
So the first thing I do is I'll always sign an exclusive listing beforehand. Because I want that 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever period it is, to book my staging, book my photography, book my virtual tours.
For those that don't know, exclusive listing is...
It's just being able to sell that property off market, not have to worry about it going on MLS, but it protects both the realtor and the client should anything happen in that period. So if a
Such
client,
as, yeah.
yeah, if you want to sell your house, you said, James, I want to be on the market May 1st.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks prior to that, or from even the day we met, I would sign you exclusively up until May 1st. Because I don't want any other realtor knocking on your door saying, hey, Anthony, let me sell your house, and I can do it for 0.5%. So it's protecting me in a way too, but it's also letting me market your home before it goes on the market.
True. So how does it protect the client?
It just helps them get that whole marketing exposure beforehand.
True.
Right? Because that way, if you have people who are interested, you're getting their background information, right? You're getting their financials. Because you don't want someone coming in with a really great offer, waive the financing clause, 2 days before closing, they can't close. Right? So I grill every single agent. I want to know what they're looking to purchase. Right?
Okay.
How much their clients can afford. Do they have a great enough deposit? I need a letter of commitment from the mortgage broker.
Okay, so what do you do to market your listings?
Depending on the neighborhood, I'm looking at the culture first and foremost. So if I'm selling a listing that's geared more to Asian buyers, I'm hitting up WeChat, I'm dealing in a Chinese newspaper, I'm walking through Markville Mall, sadly enough. And I'm, honestly though, because you can tell who the agents are, and you just give them a sneak preview, right? 9 times out of 10, they got a client who'll see it sight unseen. Just before you got here this morning, I was dealing with an agent who was buying one of my listings sight unseen because it's priced right, it's rented right.
Really? Just like that, they don't even need to see it?
No, because the numbers make sense, right? Because you're looking at investors at that point.
So you do like feng shui the apartments if it's Chinese and
no,
stuff?
No, that's weird. No.
I've heard of stuff like that where they like put like the bonsai tree in like a certain corner of the unit or proper feng shui. No.
Agents will do that. No, it's not me. I mean,
do you stage though?
I do stage. I own my own staging company.
Okay. Cool.
Every realtor stages. We all do photography. We all do feature sheets. We all do open houses. I don't do open houses. I don't have the time to sit there for 2 hours. The one thing that I do is I offer a concierge service. So,
what does that mean?
Yeah, let's say your house is vacant or you're traveling. If it's tenanted, it's harder. But if you're traveling, for example, and you got a showing at 10 a.m. and then showings for the rest of the day, I'll go in first thing, make sure the heat is on, make sure the toilet seats are down, all the lights are on, nothing's out of place. If there's a cat, she's fed. The dog is let out, whatever the case is. Because my clients know that they're getting a certain level of service from me.
In your opinion, let's talk a little bit about your opinion. What's the difference between buying pre-construction versus resale?
Okay.
Or like, maybe it's just fine, perfectly done, and it's ready to move in. What's the pros and cons of that? And what's your opinion on it in general?
Yeah, I mean, I sell both. The pros of buying pre-construction, you're buying
Quick question.
Yeah.
Have you been selling more pre-construction over the last couple of years, or?
I actually only started selling pre-construction last February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just saw a change in the market, and when you're young and you have a young face, it's hard to get in there and compete with older agents.
I feel you, man.
Right? I mean, I can't
wait to have a little bit of white freckles. I feel like my income's gonna like double when that happens.
I tried dyeing my hair. I tried, letting the beard grow in, but it doesn't grow. So I just have to take advantage of the market because my clients weren't able to compete in multiple offers. So being able to let them still live in their rentals or with their parents, but getting them something they can move into 4 years down the road, made them happy because they're buying at today's price.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right. You're buying, a 1-bedroom and den condo in Richmond Hill for $450. Come 2021 when it's closed, you're looking at $600.
True. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And you're literally just paying that 20%, nothing else. Once you close, then you take possession with your new mortgage.
So what's the cons of pre-construction?
The cons of it are there's always delays.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't know the builder.
I don't think I've ever seen a pre-construction that says we're going to get built by like 2020, 2021, or whatever the number is actually happen on that day.
Right. Like if they say April 2021, expect November 2021. Right. But it's bound to happen. A lot of builders now, they're pushing up the interim occupancy phase, where they'll let you move in earlier. Hallways aren't done, elevators still under construction, they're still boarded up with the plywood, but you're able to get into your unit. In that time, because the building is not registered, you can't get a mortgage. So you're still living
You're paying rent.
mortgage free.
Yeah. Aren't you paying rent though to the builder or something like that? How does that work?
Depending on the builder, there are some arrangements made. Sometimes it's literally you're there until the day you close.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I recently, like two summers ago, purchased a pre-construction condo in Liberty Village, and it was supposed to be ready this January.
Yeah.
And it got moved to July, and then got moved again to next January, 2019.
Which building did you buy?
Garrison Point, right at East Liberty and Strong. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
So looking forward to that, but I was supposed to be moved in by now, and I'm still living with mom and dad. So it has its pros and cons. Mom's cooking's pretty good.
I mean, it helps. I love the fact that my grandma lives 5 doors away because she does my laundry when I'm traveling. So
Yeah, true.
No, but the cons of pre-construction are, if you don't know the builder, you're buying sight unseen. So you don't know their quality, you don't know their reputation.
Okay, true.
But also, if you're not going to the sales office and feeling their materials, you could be getting a really cheap kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
True. Yeah.
So a lot of builders that I work with, and I'm selective who I work with, have really good quality kitchens, flooring, countertops.
Even without like upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the builders I work with, their standards are considered upgrades for other builders.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So pre-construction, I'd say like the pros are obviously for millennials that don't have a lot of money saved up just yet, but that want to get in the market. It's a good way to get in, and then also it gives you time to not have to pay mortgage, and you see that capital appreciation hopefully in the real estate market. Where if you're wanting to move in right away, definitely pre-construction is not the way that you want to go.
Right. I mean, with pre-construction, you're paying, it's usually the first 5% in 30 days, another 5% in 90 days, 180 days, either 540 or then again on closing.
Sure.
Right. So you're paying that 20% over a year and a half to 2 years.
Which is great.
I mean, sometimes it's even further out depending on the project. You'll get some builders, like Daniels is huge for this in Regent Park, where you'll put your $5,000 down and then $1,000 per month.
Oh.
Until you get that 20%.
That's great.
It's great. The problem with that, though, is that Daniels will not cooperate with realtors. So unless like you're standing outside the sales office by yourself without a realtor for 14, 15 hours to get in, you're SOL.
Interesting.
Because Daniels doesn't want to pay realtors their commission.
But
and we're entitled to it.
Oh, interesting.
We work our ass off for a commission.
Doesn't that make realtors not want to show their clients those properties?
Absolutely. But in that market where, Regent Park is still so affordable for young buyers, right? Right at Dundas and Jarvis or Dundas and River, they can get in with that 5% without having their realtor, and they're buying at a really reasonable price.
Interesting. I want to ask up and coming neighborhoods to live and purchase if you're looking to buy your first property. So if you're looking to buy your first property, what's the best bang for your buck? What's the easiest to get in?
That question's kind of twofold, right?
Sure.
So if you're looking for a condo, I would suggest anywhere in Vaughan, like the VMC, Vaughan Metropolitan Center. So from Keele over to Jane, even over to the 400, and then around the Highway 7 intersection.
So like that Vaughan area. A lot of my friends are buying in that area.
Again, it's affordable. They're getting good prices for their units, and all the transit's there.
Yeah.
You got the new subway, you got Brampton Zoom, YRT, Viva, Go, and I've heard in one of the buildings that the Buka chain restaurants is opening up a restaurant there.
I've heard about that.
That'll keep a lot of the suburbanites out of my city. So Vaughan is a really good place to purchase. Richmond Hill is another great place. But if you're looking for a home, there's so many untapped markets for actual land right now. So like we were seeing 4 or 5 years ago of Royal York and Islington, Royal York and the Queensway being so cheap and affordable, those bungalows and story and a half are now being sold to developers at $1 million, $1.5 million.
So where do you want to go now if you want to buy land?
So now you're going the opposite. You're going to the beaches, like on the upper east side of the beach. So Birchmount and Kingston Road.
Affordable there?
Yeah, you're looking at a bungalow around that $750 mark.
Oh.
And even up into Lower Scarborough, you're in that same price point, and you're getting a 45-foot lot with a 3-bedroom bungalow, fully fenced yard. 9 times out of 10, you got a garage as well.
True.
So close to the 401.
Interesting.
Close to get down to the lakeshore. So it's pretty central for most people.
A lot of those suburbanites that you're talking about are now thinking of moving out to like Milton and like Georgetown and like even Bradford. Like you gotta like move more north than that now.
Right, but they think that I can. I'm still paying that $750.
Yeah.
But they want that 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. But they're still commuting an hour every day to work.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I would never be able to do that.
No, I try to stay like within, because I live in the city. My commutes, no matter where I go, 30 minutes because of streetcars and taxi cabs. But like if you lived in the east or west end of the city, you're still getting a decent sized and a reasonably great home, and you're still commuting less time than getting on that highway.
2 more questions before we wrap up. First question is, this is speculation. We're not going to hold it to you, just for fun, guessing. With the increasing interest rates and the new mortgage rules, you think the real estate market, because we took a look with some of my friends, we're at the same point as January last year.
Okay.
For average Toronto prices, average Vaughan prices, all that stuff. Some people think that the markets are going to revert back to January 2 years ago. Do you think markets are positive or negative on the real estate market this year?
Oh, I'm completely positive.
Really?
I think because every buyer and seller who's in the market last year saw how crazy it was. That this year they're not scared by it. They're expecting it. Right? Like every seller I've been to has been calm. Every buyer knows they're going to be competing. It's not like, oh fuck, I lost out on that home. It's like, all right, there's another one coming.
All right.
Right?
Fair enough. Next time we have you on, which will be whatever, maybe in the summer, the spring.
We'll reassess that question.
We're gonna save that and like add it onto the YouTube video for that one.
Yeah.
See if you're right or wrong. And the last question, which I ask a lot of people everyone that comes on the show, is you're in the industry. You know what it's like. If there was one thing that you know as a realtor, as a professional advisor, that the rest of us don't know, and this is your opportunity to tell everybody what's one thing that you would want to tell them that would make your life easier or everybody's life easier, something that is a hidden gem or something that you know that you want others to know.
I don't think it's a hidden gem. I think it's just 40% of deals never make it to market.
What do you mean by that?
So a lot of exclusive deals are done off market, word of mouth, right? Like, you're a realtor, I'm a realtor, you've got a client, I've got the listing, this is what I'm looking for, James, let me know if you have it. Hey, I actually do. Right?
Really? 40%? Is that a real stat?
It's a stat I've made up.
Okay.
Because
but a lot. You mean like
a
surprising more than you'd expect?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but it's a stat that I've kind of watched and followed, and a lot of deals I know get done off market. Especially when you're talking into the Chinese, the Persians, and the Indians, because they know that if they do it off market, they don't have to worry about marketing. And they don't have to worry about their sellers being disrupted because they're buying land value, right?
So that's where you need a good realtor,
It's always good to have a good realtor.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My
Truly
pleasure.
appreciate it. Some good insight today. If you guys have any questions about real estate, investing, your own personal finances, debt, give us a DM on Instagram and make sure that you follow James in the City. We'll have his tag name in the next video that we post. And check out our YouTube channel. If you like our stuff, please subscribe. Until next week, this is Anthony. What they did not teach you in school. Peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you.